What's up, guys? It's the rookie APBT, man. Just here chilling in my house, a little under the weather. As you can see, I'm on the couch, all snuggled up. It is what it is. I threw a last video of my dogs, the one y'all saw, the unknowns. Number 5. That's my dogs at 8 months old. It's been kind of cold. Couldn't really film outside. It's kind of hard to train them and hold the camera up. When I see them train, and I'm a little older guy, man, so that cold kind of bites. But I was here on the computer, man, just checking out. Like I said, I do this. This is an example of what I'm showing you guys. This is what I do in my spare time. Right now, I have a lot of time. Feeling under the weather. Wife's at work. Kids are in school. So, and I had a conversation with this guy here where I live in my town, and he was claiming or saying that he came and saw my dogs, and I was honest with him. He automatically called them pit bulls, and I was telling him, I said, dude, I said, for one, man, I said, really can't use pit bull because that's just the terminology, man. That's just the nickname of calling the dog pit bull. I can't really use that name because not everything is made for a pit. It's just a nickname for these dogs that you put in a box, in a ring, or whatever, you're going to put these dogs in to fight. Back in the old days that you read that they would put them in, they would dig a hole. I can't give you the dimensions of it. It's so many feet wide, so many feet deep. They would put 2 dogs in there, man. They would go at it, and they would bet on them. They would do this back in the 1800s when they actually came from Europe. Now, like I said, I'm just giving you a little sample. What I'm showing you here on the screen, man, are all these books. That's where you can get it from. I'm just showing you. Don't take my word for it or anybody else's, man. This is the books that are out there. Anyways, like I was saying, they would put them in a pit. They would bet on them. They would have a human handler in there, I guess a referee, and that's what they would do, man. That's what this dog was bred to do, an American Pit Bull Terrier. They were known to the gameness in them. They're just a fight, man. It's just me and my wife have these conversations, man. It's just like having a boxer, man. For example, like Mike Tyson. The way he's built, and Mike Tyson was small. He was built, and he was fast. He was powerful. But how do you control that without killing people in the streets? Well, you exercise them, you pull them, you put that energy somewhere else. Okay, there's a good example. That's why I try to put that in mind. Put Mike Tyson's intensity, power, speed, the just confident, and put that in a Bruce Lee body. There's a good example of this homeboy from Astro Bulldogs uses. It's kind of funny, but I mean, he's right. That's what you do. Put Mike Tyson in Bruce Lee's body, and you got an American Pit Bull Terrier. And to keep him from doing that, there's lots of ways. This is the reason why. I mean, sometimes I don't realize what I said in my other videos, but when you have them on these chains, man, you're building that front end on that dog. You're not hurting these dogs, and that's a good way for them to build up, to lose that energy. Put them on that chain, weight collars. They burn energy, and plus it builds them up. And like I said, a lot of these dog owners, I go to Petco, man, and they frown upon me when I bring that stuff up, and that just tells me like they're not educated on it. Anyways, I'm starting to go off subject, man. Here's a good example, man, that a homeboy from Thompson's Kennels recommended a book, man, and this is a good book because I got it, and it's high, it's priced, man. It's I don't know if you can see that, but it's like $500, man. It's so I just clicked on it. Complete Game Dog by Ed and Chris Farron, man. This is a good book right here, man. Really good book. If you want to start off and you want to do this, like I said, I got turned on with a friend of mine that had one, and then recently I saw another dog here in town, I was surprised. This guy had a Gator Chinaman, American Pit Bull Terrier. Oh, he was beautiful, you know. But like I said, these books are pricey, man. This one here is just like I said, running for 500. I mean, it is what it is. But this is a very very good book, man. This right here will tell you anything and everything you need to know about the American Pit Bull Terrier, man. This guy's no joke. Like I said, if you love this breed, care for this breed, this is an awesome book to have right here, man. And I got it. I got a lot of books. Like I said, I'm under the weather. I don't feel like getting up because I feel like crap. But this is what I do, man, and this is what I want to do. And like I said, my dogs are unknown, and I was honest with that guy, man. That can't. He was just a kid just walking down the street with his dog. I don't know what the hell he had. He had some kind of bully breed because he was big. He was like, I don't know. He said this dog was like 90 pounds. And I showed him my dogs, and I told him that, I don't have paperwork on them, man. They look like pits. I said, but I can't call them that, dude. I'm just being real with you, man. I'm keeping it 100. Well, he was telling me, well, they look like pits. They must be pits. I said, no, that's not how it works, man. You have to have a bloodline to what you have where you can follow the genealogy of all the dogs that you get from a reputable breeder. This is what I'm trying to go on. But like I'm telling you guys, I was telling this guys, I said, I always loved the breed and now I have the chance to own them. But this is my exercise training with my pets. He saw some of my equipment, which, he didn't understand why I was doing that. I said, well, because these dogs have a lot of energy, man. Can't have these dogs just around just not doing anything because they're going to tear shit up. And that's what they're going to do. So I exercise them. I said there's spring pulls. I said there's weight pulling. I said there's tug of war. I said you always have to be on there. I'm with my dogs. Okay, I'll open up a little bit. I said I train my dogs 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day, but like I said, the geography where I live at in the state, we have more summers than we do have winters. Our winters here last 3 months. So everybody to their own, depending on what part of the country you're in. A lot of people like to do it in the winter. Some people like to chill in the summer. But we have heat pretty much all year round. So I'm going with the idea, and it's worked, that I've let my dogs rest during the winter because it's short. It's not very long. But they're pretty much a hardy breed. What I've realized from my dogs, they're still active in 110-degree heat. So that's a good sign that they're hardy breeds. But this guy was saying that he was determined, oh, you have pit bulls. I said, dude, I don't have pit bulls. I said, I don't like using that terminology, pit bulls. I don't have American Pit Bull Terriers. I don't have American Pit Bull Terriers. That's what I was telling him. He said, well, I have a pit bull. I said, no, guy, you don't have a pit bull, man. He's a blue and he's big. I said, there's somewhere down the line where you got the dog. And I asked him, I said, how much you get that dog for? He said he got it for 150. I said, that's a red flag right there. I didn't tell him that. I said, you have a bully on your hand with I don't know how many breeds in there, but what I do know is that dog that you have, whatever they put in there, it has a working breeds in them. And I said, what do you do with this dog? He says, well, I walk him. I said, so you don't weight pull them, you don't work them. He says, no. He says, I don't do any of that. I just give him for walks. I said, well, that's why he's the way he is, man. That's why he's pulling you around. This is why he's not listening to you. This is why he's going after my dogs, to the fence, because they're all right next to each other. And my dogs didn't pretty much respond because they knew that this dog wasn't posing any dominance. My dogs know that. They're 2 males. They're 8 months old. My dogs wanted to play, but this dog was so hyper that he doesn't do anything with it. And I said, hey, guy, you have to realize that American Pit Bull Terrier is the standard of a medium-built dog that has almond-shaped eyes, not a huge head, man. His head should be proportional with his shoulders, as I said before. He have a hooked tail, a tight body. He's built, man. If you look at them, they're built like freaking they're just built, man. You can see, when you see a real one with the real pedigrees, man, they look like little tanks, man. You look like little Bruce Lee, man. I mean, they're tight bodies, they're muscular, strong. They're really strong. I'm a big guy, man, and my dogs pull me around a little bit. And it's a training exercise. But This guy was determined he had one. I said, man, you don't have one, dude. It's just you don't. You don't have an American Pit Bull Terrier. It's a small, medium breed, man. That's all it is. And this is pretty much like this is the only time I go on Google, not for information, but really pictures, because if you type that in, it tells you pretty much what they are, you know. And I tell people this is what pit bull, and they don't get it. They picture these big dogs with, you know, 100 pounds. I said, dude, those are not pit bulls, man. Those are just people out there throwing the name out there. Because bullies, if you put them, and I totally condone dog fighting, man. I went to several in my life, and I didn't like it. It didn't sense of purpose, man. If you trying to make money off it, I ain't, you know, dogging anybody who does it, man. That's just me. There's other ways of making money, man. I was in oil field, and I made all right. I did all right. I didn't need dogs, you know, to supply my income. I didn't like it, man. It was interesting, didn't like it. But a lot of people went another course with these dogs other than what they were really made for. Yes, they were pits, but they were really loving family dogs, man. You could have them. They were in the White House. They were in TV shows. I remember that record company, RCA. That little dog looking through the little, you know, phonograph. That's a pit bull, man. That's an American Pit Bull Terrier. So the thing is, man, you have to get out of that stigma, man, that when you see a bully breed, and another thing about these bully breeds, man, this is what I told the dude. I said, that name is thrown out there that everybody's starting to get familiar with. This breed has been around. Well, I can't even say breed because there's no standard to it. That name has been around for a while. I've been hearing it for like past 10 years. But what I told them that there's no purpose for these dogs is because they haven't really proved anything. They haven't shown anything. It's a lot of cosmetic looks. Cosmetic looks don't mean shit unless it's, you have to know by generations to see if it's going to have hip dysplasia, what's going to have, I mean, what's the lifespan on this dog? How long is this dog going to live? Is it going to turn on you? Because these are from a man-stopping breeds, man. These are from working dogs that are human aggressive, man, and they really are. This is why they, supposedly they say they make good guard dogs. But my point is, the police force don't have them. The military don't have them. Security guards don't have them. You don't see them in a ring, in a pit ring, because I do know, even though I condone it, I do know some people in other parts of the country that do dog fighting. Never seen them in a pit. I don't see them doing competitions, waterboarding. I mean, not waterboarding, excuse me. You know, jumping. You don't see them catching frisbee. You don't see them out there doing these things. What I've seen, and I'm pretty sure all these dogmen have seen, that these dogs, you can do whatever you want. Hog hunting, I haven't seen it, man. I've seen a lot of American bulldogs. Part of my country, and I'm pretty sure all over the South, but I've seen it here where I've seen American bulldogs go after these hogs, man. I mean, it's awesome to watch it. There's money there. But I've never seen a bully. And some of these hunters, man, that do these hog hunting, because like I said, I live in Texas. I know a lot of them, man. Everybody knows one or two. And I asked him, I said, "Have you ever tried a bully breed?" He says, "What's a bully breed?" And I explained it to him. He says, "Well, I've never seen one. I've seen pictures, but I've never seen one out in the field." So for you to have a bully breed, you have to step up, or any of these breeders that are breeding them. Like I said, I'm not knocking these people, man, but that's just the truth. Just keeping it real, man, that you got to have these bullies. There's got to be a purpose for these dogs, man, not just for cosmetic. Cosmetic doesn't mean shit. This is why I tell my wife I don't really understand Chihuahuas, poodles. There's no purpose for them but to lay around inside dog. Dog's got to do something, man. He ain't just going to live here for free. I've always been a believer in that. True dogmen have purpose for their dogs, to where who they're going to sell them to. And I can understand that when you talk to a real dogman who has these bloodlines to the genealogy of this breed, he's going to sell it to another breeder for the value of the blood that he's carrying. Like I said, there's several out there, man. You just got to look it up. But if he's not selling it to a breeder, or a breeder doesn't need the blood right now, he's going to sell it to the public, but he's going to be very careful to selling it to the public. So like I said, yes, you have to understand that when these people want references, they want to see where you live at, they want to see your yard, they want to see your house, you have to understand that this dog can automatically be put into a pit, and that's not what you really want, man. Some of these guys have these bloodlines that they don't want their dogs to end up that way, man. Because it's a lot of work, man. I have pets that are not American Pit Bull Terrier, man, but I put in work with them, man, and it's work. I just got 2 dogs, man, just 2 pets. These breeders, man, have like 6 or 7. That's the right amount of dogs to have. But this is every day, man, and they don't want their dogs to end up in the wrong hands. So if the breeders, if they contact other breeders and they don't need that bloodline at the time, well, they're going to sell them to the public. But when they sell them to the public, that's when you get them neutered. Get them neutered, man. It knocks that testosterone out. They still have that gameness in them, man, but it's really not. People who fight these dogs want them, they want them nuts to hang. They want them to sag. They want that testosterone. They want that. Well, I mean, once you neuter them, man, it's no good. They don't really want them. So they're pretty good, homes, man. And they are a good dog, but they're not for everybody, man. These are for like active people. My dogs, I like to stay active. They keep me active. That's what these dogs are for, man. They're for active dogs. They're great with people, man, because what I've read is that there's 3 things that line up, man. When the stars are aligned, this is what they agree from people who dogfight, the breeder, some breeders, not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. Some, and the police or any of them, that the lines up that whenever an American Pit Bull Terrier turns, and they can, man, they're animals. By the human, man, they're put down. There's no reason to have that dog because that's not the way they were bred. So that's one thing they line up with, man. But to that one guy I was talking to, man, and I talked to several of them, they're just so uneducated on it. Well, there's a blue pit bull. I said, well, what's a pit bull? I like to give that, when I start a conversation with somebody, that's what I like to give. What is a pit bull? And I tell them, you have a pit bull. What's a pit bull? They cannot, you ask that to anybody, they cannot give you a definition of it. And if they do give you the right definition of it, well, a pit bull is a dog that fights in a pit. Okay, does your dog fight in a pit? No. So how do you know you have a pit bull? Tell them, man, a pit bull is just a name. That is just an abbreviation name. In other words, an American Pit Bull Terrier, a.k.a. pit bull. Pit bull is a dog that fought in a pit for money, for competition. This is why you have a 3-time winner, champion, 5-time winner, grand champion. When you see those, that's when you see any pit, that's what they are. And it's evidence is there with the scarring, you can see them on them. But that's what a lot of breeders want. This dog's a champion, has good gameness. But what's cool about it, man, that I'm talking to a lot of people that they're starting to have this breed and move away from that, man. There's other ways of having this dog where you can, man, hawk hunting. I've seen American Pit Bull Terrier, man. I know a couple of guys that, like I said, in Texas, we have small little towns. My towns is pretty well decent, 200,000 people. And smaller towns are like maybe, I don't know, 1,200 people, 1,500 people. I know these people, man, and they hunt, and we have a big hog problem here. And I've gone with them, man, with American Pit Bull Terriers they have. Beautiful, man, reds, deep reds, seen Brando's black. Black is the most common ones I've seen. And I've seen them go after them, man, and oh my God, it's a sight, man. It's an adrenaline rush, man, to see these dogs capture these hogs, and they hold them, listen to their handlers, man, and I mean, it's awesome. And I've seen them in competition. We have a little lake out here. I've seen them have little competition, how high these dogs can jump, in the water. It's just awesome, man. So it's a good stigma now that it's that we're these dogmen, these ones that are learning, that are moving away from that dog fighting. Because to me, it's a waste. That's your product, man. That's your stock that you're having, and then seeing this dog go to a pit, and either he's going to end up dying or he's going to end up being hurt really bad. It's going to cost a lot of money at the vet. You can't even really take him to the vet, to be honest, because it is illegal, man. It's illegal all over the country. But you have to understand, man, there's no such thing as blues, man. There's a difference between an American Pit Bull Terrier and a Staffordshire Terrier and a Bull Terrier, man. There's 3 differences, and people are tagging names on these dogs, man, and calling them pit bulls, which totally it's against it, man. But that's my always conversation. Like I said, this isn't a good example, man. And I know this is the ones that end up in the news, because this right here, let's see if I can focus on it. That is, if you look at it, that is an American Staffordshire Terrier, man. They're bigger than the American Pit Bull Terrier. They're bigger in size. They're bigger in bulk. That's what they look like. These are the ones you see in the news. This is the dog that's giving the American Pit Bull Terrier a bad name. This is the one that's causing all the lawmakers and all over the country banning the American Pit Bull Terrier. Because this dog is not in the news. This one is. Because a lot of people are breeding these dogs with other breeds, making it bigger, making them taller. And if it's not this one, they use the Bull Terrier, making them shorter and bigger, what to be 100 pounds. This is the one you see in the news. The big old head with the Mastiff. This is the dog. These dogs are actually cheap to get. I know people, just by looking at this is what you look for. You see a dog like this, and they're calling them pit bulls. It's not a pit bull, man. That's a staffy. That's what I like to call them short. They're staffies. Like I said, these is a Bull Terrier. That's a Bull Terrier right there. You can see it, man. You can tell the difference. That's an American Pit Bull Terrier. You can tell. It slopes down. I say they kind of slope down. I call them like hyenas, and their tails, to me, look like a little rat tail, man. That's what they look like. So their tail's real thin. They slope down. It slopes. The back slopes down. That's a good indication of it, too. And they got big feet, man. They got big feet. That's a Colby pit right there. John P. Colby. Those are his dogs right there. But that was back then, like I said. People, it's evolved now. See, look at that, man. Picture of a family with a dog, man. Pit bull. See, they're not big dogs, man. They're little, medium-sized dogs. That's the difference, man. These are the ones that are making American Pit Bull Terrier a bad name. Because these dogs are cheap. You see them a lot everywhere. They're everywhere, man. They're thinking, cool, there's a good one. This has always been my favorite pick right there. It's an American Pit Bull Terrier, man. Well conditioned right there. He's probably like maybe, by looking at him, he's probably like 35 pounds. But you look at the gameness and the drive in them. That's what they should look like. Here's another one, Colby. I've always had a thing with Colbys, man. They look cool. And I'm thinking, and like I said, I'm guessing Petey from the Little Rascals could have been a Colby, because that's the way it looked. That's John P. Colby, the handler. That's what they look like, man. Here's a good example of what they did, man. Bull baiting. That's it, man. That's what these dogs were bred to do, man. So any of you out there who don't know anything about dogs, or actually American Pit Bull Terriers, man, this is a good, this is what I've always done. And I have all these books, man. This is just an example. Like I said, I read a lot. There's another one, America's Dog, right there, man. There it is. That's an American Pit Bull Terrier. Here's another one right here, man. For y'all that don't know, this is the standard right here. Illusion, ADBA standards, man. That is an American Pit Bull Terrier. I call them, my son calls them, they're supposed to have Mickey Mouse ears. That's his way of saying that's one of the standards of American Pit Bull Terrier. That's what they should have. This is one of the ancestries, man, of the American Pit Bull Terrier back in Europe. This is what he was bred with. Right there. Old English Bulldog. People think all bulldogs in England, they think of the English Bulldog. No, man. That's not it. And then you can see, this is why I don't tell you, man, to do Google, man, because you can see a lot of them. There's another Colby pit right there. Saying Colby's picture, 1896, man. This is how old this game goes. Another good example, man. This is what you're looking for. See that thin tail and it slopes down? They should be real small hips. That's it. This is Mayday Rome, man. This is supposedly the baddest breed out there, man. The biggest. I think they get up to 60 pounds. But here's an example, man. See, that's Staff right there. See the size of them? That's a good indication, man. There's no illustration of what kind of dog he is, but by looking at it, that's a Staffy, man. There's no way it's American Pit Bull. See, this is the reason why I don't tell you to Google, because look at this one. That's a bully breed right there. It's big. Tail straight down. He should have the hook tail. Another one right there. See the hook tail. And sorry this is going to take a while, man, but you can see them. There you go, man. That's what they were bred for. I condone it, but it is what it is. That's where they came from. So if you get a pup down the genealogy tree, man, that the bloodline came from this dog, then you have a legitimate pit bull. That's what it is. So I can understand why people get, frustrated. This is a bull terrier right here, man. Good example. They're short, big old blockhead. That's it right there, man. You can tell it's easy. But again, just sometimes they can throw off some. Sometimes Google, they didn't even know, man. Here's a good example right there. Just Google that shit, man. Just to look up pics. Not for information, man. Like I said, don't be lazy, man, and then go off Google. Just buy the books, man. I don't even know what that is. Can't really tell. Yeah, it could be. Can't say, though. But that's what it is, man. It's John P. Colby right there. That's one of the founding fathers of the American Pit Bull Terrier, man. He's one of them that started the breed. There's a lot of them. Look at that. There you go. There's a Bull Terrier. See the difference? And people are calling them, American Pit Bull Terriers. And that's an American Pit Bull Terrier. That's a Bull Terrier. Well, actually, Staffordshire Bull Terriers, be more correct. They're shorter. Man, if you want to own these dogs, man, and this is the reason why. See, that's a blue, that's a Staffy right there. See that? That's what everybody's calling it, an American Pit Bull Terrier. It's not an American Pit Bull Terrier, man. That's a Staffy. You see how thick he is? He's big, man. They get pretty big dogs. But a lot of this is going around, man. They're hanging papers on them, calling them American Pit Bull Terriers. American Pit Bull Terrier could be pretty much black is the most common that you're going to see. And a Staffy, man. So I'm just showing you the difference. You see one of these, man, and they say they have UKC. The UKC is claiming these are American Pit Bull Terriers, which clearly that's an American Pit Bull Terrier. That is not. Just keeping it real with you, man. Just keeping you real. Just keeping it really real, man. I don't like the bullshit people. The reason why it's brindle, that's a nice little brindle right there, is because you're getting that trait that's coming from the old English bulldog. Way, way, way back from the family tree, man. That's what that's from. It's a good example of, in America, we condone that stuff. But that's probably from another country somewhere. Staffy. Bull could be a bully. You could tell. I mean, if you study them really good, that's too big. Too big. That's a Staffy right there. Or a bully. It's not a pit bull. That's not a pit bull. I don't even know what the hell that is. Everybody knows this one. This is a standard Bull Terrier, the Target commercial. Back in my day, he was called Spuds McKenzie. That's what actually made that dog famous. Yeah, I'm that old. So any of y'all old schools out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. See the look? That's too big. Yeah, these are way too big, man. See the size? These are masters, man. So, just an update, little video, man. Like I said, I'm under the weather. Feel like crap, but say there's a good example. Look at that. Say, look what they're putting on there, man. There's a good example. This is on Google, man. Look at that. Look at that. Good example, man. Who is that? Who is that? Let's see. American Pit Bulls. This is the reason why books, American Pit Bull. Yeah, this is the one I was telling you, man. This is exactly what I was talking about. Stay away from Google because people who are uneducated, who like to breed, they pull it up and this is what they see. This is clearly not an American Pit Bull Terrier, man. This is not one. And they're hanging papers on them, and here's a good example, man. And I'm a rookie, and the reason why I call myself a rookie is because I have not jumped in the water to start breeding a bloodline yet. I've done all my research on the books, man. Like I said, I got like about 40, 50 books that I read once a week, all of them. And I rotate them every time. Now you have to put that into action. That's what I'm going to do. And a good example to start with my dogs, my pets, and I train them, and that's how I learn. And soon I will get me some. But here's a good example, man. Stay away from it. American Pit Bull Terrier. These are books, man. Look at that. Clearly, this author didn't know. Excuse me, I know there's kids watching. I'm trying not to cuss, man. If I do, I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time. But here's an example, man. That is not one, man. Just lies. So, this is why I tell people not to Google. You can Google pictures, but you can tell, you know. I don't even know why they got a Doberman in there. And I typed in American Pit Bull Terrier. So people in Google, see, I mean, you can tell. That's an American Pit Bull Terrier, man. Lean, you know, his head is proportion with his body. Slopes, the tail hooks down. Muscular, man. Ain't no fat on that dog. There's one right there, too. Look like he may have little boils, but like I said, we guess. We're allowed to guess, but we can't confirm. The bully. So, that's my thing, guys. On the weather, like I said, this guy got me wild up, man, and everybody in the media, mainstream America, call them pit bulls, man. That's a nickname. That's not a pit bull. If you have a pit bull, show me the paperwork you have it. Not, don't call it a pit bull. It's an American Pit Bull Terrier, man. There's a reason why that name's in the middle. Because it's proven. There's paperwork on it. There's champions out there. So, alright, man. Sorry if I took so long. Like I said, I'm bored. Under the weather. So, that's my thing, man. So, y'all guys have a good day. And I'll catch you on the next one, man. Latest.